Hey guys, Frank here, and welcome to another episode of Did I Shoot This One? And today we have something from our workshop, Filmic Images, and it's this shot. Don't you just love it? During the workshop Filmic Images, we try to recreate images that could be done during a movie set. So, what is a filmic image? Well, for me, a normal portrait captures the character of that person. It captures the essence of somebody. How does somebody look? Do you recognize somebody? Do you recognize yourself in an image? Or, for example, if you do a headshot, does it represent the job that you want? So, for example, do you shoot somebody that wants to be a CEO? In jeans and a tank top? Well, probably not, but maybe in a suit. Or is that not modern enough for that company? So that means that always when you shoot somebody, you have to do your investigation into what kind of person do I photograph, what kind of job does he apply for, and what kind of character is that person, because you don't want to take a picture that's out of character for that person. However, in this workshop, it's just the same as cosplay. We want to create something that's totally out of character. It has to be like a movie set. So in this case, we have our beautiful model Linda with a real Tommy gun. It's not a real Tommy gun, it's just wood. So what is the lighting for this setup? Now you might think, well, if the styling is all right, if the prop is all right, the lighting setup isn't that important. It actually is. Because when you make your lighting setup, you have to take into account what do you want to light. Well, in this case, I want a rapid light fall-off. I want that nice contrasty look in my image. So that means I need my light close to the model. If you want a longer light fall-off, you place your light further away because of the inverse square law. In this case, it means I must place my light close to the model. But it also means, because I'm shooting full body, it has to spread out over the model. Now, there are a few light sources that are ideal for this. Of course, a huge softbox, but that also will infect the set, and we don't want it. We want close light on our model. So we need something that steers the light. Now, a grid is great for this, of course. But also look how a light modifier is shaped. By following the lines of the light shape, you can actually see how the light will fall over your subject. So in this case, we're using the Geekoto S26. That's a smaller softbox, but it spreads out the light more evenly than, for example, the Quickie, which actually steers the light forward. So the Quickie we would move further away and create a nice light fall-off. With the S26 we move it closer and still have that full body, but still have that very, very hard light fall-off. Now, of course, when you only use one light, it can be really dark on the other side. Sometimes that's great, but in this case we didn't want that. We want the atmosphere. Now, color is always very important in movies. Think about, for example, Titanic. If they would just create it like normal tinting, yeah, you wouldn't really be into the Titanic, right? You would look at a normal movie. So tinting is incredibly important. Now, in this case, we're using the color blue. Distance, a little bit scary maybe, but in this case, we just want a nice overflowing blue hue over the whole set. Now, in this case, I choose to let my model scream with the Tommy gun like a crazy person. But there's one thing that you have to realize. Sometimes it's great to commit. You want the image screaming, right? But what if your client doesn't want the image screaming? If your client just wants something with a normal expression? Maybe your client doesn't want a full body, maybe only 3/4. So it's always important to shoot different kinds of setups. And I totally agree. Sometimes on the set, your client will go like, no, I love the screaming. It's great. Don't do anything else. Just do it. And I always do something else for the very simple reason. Sometimes the client will come back 2 weeks later and they go like, yeah, we did all those images shouting, but do you also have one image where she looks normal? Yes, of course, we shot them. Although you said don't, always shoot different kinds of setups. So in this case, we shoot one screaming, that's the one that I was going for, one a more neutral shot, and one even a normal landscape shot. But we can talk about it for hours, you know the drill, right? Let's go to the studio with our model Linda, so you can see the lighting setup, really simple one, and of course the final results. As you can see, pretty simple lighting setup. There is, however, one thing I do have to point out, and we recently did a video on this, and that's the video about props. Do make sure when you set up something like this, you see the prop correctly. In this case, of course, that's why I'm using the blue light and the main light, because now I can light the prop from two sides. The only thing the model has to do is angle the prop correctly so it fills up very nicely in the photo and you don't see any black spots where, hey, is that a gun? No, it isn't. So make sure that you light it very nicely on the side. I just love that accent lighting there. Now, if you have any questions about our lighting setups, about our workshops, and of course, well, anything in between, just leave them in the comments below. Maybe you see your question answered in the next episode of Digital Classroom. Of course, also hit the like button and the notification bell so you will be updated when we upload something new. See you again next time, and make sure choose your light shapers correctly. Just look at the size and you will know exactly what it does.